Fantastic. Hello, everybody in the Now group. And welcome to another episode of It's All About You. And it's all about you, the members of Now, a network of women. And there's almost 900 of us. Actually, I've been saying that for quite a while yet. I'm going to have to do something to get some more numbers in there. But it's been just so busy doing lots of different things. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to go straight over to Jo, because Jo can tell you her subject. And her subject is all about social media. So Jo, who are you and what do you do?
Hello, so my name is Jo King, the name that nobody ever forgets, and for no good reason. Bring to the party. So I teach people networking skills. So whether that is online on social media or in real life networking, it's loads of fun. Yeah. I think a lot of people dislike social media because they think of it as marketing, and I like to think of it as online networking. It makes it feel much nicer, and for us British people who are all worried about manners and etiquette, I think it helps to sort of break that barrier down a little bit and makes you feel a bit more pleasant and less salesy. So I do one-to-one coaching and I do group workshops and hopefully soon online classes. Once I get my finger out with everybody's pivoting these days, aren't they? I've been meaning to do it for a long time, so this seems like the perfect catalyst to actually get my finger out and get it done. So watch this space.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I know what you mean about doing things. I mean, I was going to be talked endlessly about having Now online, and now is online. So yes, it's great. But you've also got children at home, so you have an excuse there. So when you say social media, I know for a fact you do Facebook. What else do you do, and how do you do this?
So I concentrate mainly on Facebook and Instagram. I find that those are the two platforms that most people in my target market work with. So my target market is generally mums who have a business, because I can fully relate to the juggle, or the struggle that is the juggle of children and business, especially now, what with the homeschool riot. Yeah, so I think it always helps if you go and speak to a business coach, for example, and they don't have children. I think it's very difficult for somebody pre-children to understand what it's actually like to deal with the babies, to deal with the toddlers, and then to deal with the bigger kids. So I find that that's something that really gives me a bit of an edge that I can relate exactly to what people are going through. So that's kind of my target market. The small businesses around me, most of them use Facebook, and probably 75% of them use Instagram. So that's where I'm keeping my focus at the moment. LinkedIn will be coming later this year, but I'm still working my way through LinkedIn. I don't like to launch into any training until I feel that I can answer any question that might come up, and LinkedIn I'm not there yet. But yeah, Facebook and Instagram I'm pretty happy with. Instagram is my favorite, but annoyingly I find it's the least bountiful in terms of conversion. Facebook I find much better for conversion, but I much prefer using Instagram as a platform. So it depends on your business, which one's going to work for you. It depends on your target market, which one will work for you. But yeah, so they're the two that I find most common in this area.
All right then, excellent. So if anybody, for example, which in this day and age would be quite unreal, but who knows, what is the difference, between Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn?
Okay, so LinkedIn we'll start with, because it's totally different to the other two. It's business to business. So if you sell to other businesses, then this is the platform for you. It's more corporate. It's less fluffy, if you like. It's more sharing like blog posts, journal entries, rather than day-to-day fluff, if that helps to describe. Instagram is now owned by Facebook, so they're becoming more and more similar. Instagram is a scroll of photos, and if a photo captures your attention, then you read the caption. Facebook is very similar, but it's more caption-led, as well as the image isn't so dominant in Facebook. Facebook is much easier to share, much more shareable. You can share to your page, you can share to your personal page, you can share to different groups like Now, which is amazing. So if I did a Facebook post that was 5 top tips for pimping your Instagram profile. So if I do that on my page, that will obviously be shown to my followers. If anybody shares it, it will be shared to their followers, which is fantastic. But then I can give that post extra legs by sharing it myself. So I could share it to Now. I could share it to, I live in a little town called Burnt Island. We have a really bizarrely high number of businesses in this town. So we have a Burnt Island business page. I can share it to that page as well. So then suddenly, instead of just a few hundred people seeing it, you end up with thousands of people seeing it really, really easily. And it's not me selling myself. It's not me promoting anything. It's just me giving free information that's available on my page anyway. It's just getting more eyes on it. Then people see the information, they like it, they follow you, and you get more followers. Instagram, you can only share, you can't really share your post. Once it's there. You can send it to individual people if you would like to, but it doesn't really have many legs. Other people can share your stuff by using a third-party app, but not many people do that. Or other people can share it to their stories. But again, if you're, especially for me, which is like business to business, the stuff that I share, people aren't really going to share it because the people that follow me have a small business. So a lady who makes candles, for example, it's not relevant for her audience to see social media tips, so they're not going to share that. So I think Facebook is much more shareable. Instagram, it's a friendlier audience. It's definitely friendlier.
I like how you put all of that, and I know that because Joe came to our Now meeting. Was it our last meeting?
Yeah, I think so.
Yes, face to face in Hotel Indigo, and I wouldn't. No, you didn't actually take my Instagram apart, but you did show, the difference at the top. Which I have to say, I haven't gone and done that yet, but it's on my list. But you did mention stories as well, which is like a totally different kettle of fish. Yeah. So, if anybody wants to know about stories on Instagram, because Joel mentioned just how you really get a lot of action from stories, so
Stories are brilliant. So stories, if you're not familiar, on Instagram, when you go into a profile, you see the person's name at the top and then you see their bio, so they're the chat about themselves. Then underneath you sometimes see the little circles. You can see 5 little circles, but they can literally go on forever. So they're almost like little photo albums. They're your stories. So if you post something to your stories, they only last for 24 hours. So the way to get around that, if the content is valuable, is you save it to one of these little photo albums, to your highlights. So for businesses, it's gold dust. So like for Lindsay's, I was saying to Lindsay, it would be really beneficial to use those highlights. So for everybody, obviously, in here knows what Now is. It's a networking meeting. So Lindsay could use those albums. You'd have one that says about Now, and then she could share photos of the meetings. A photo says 1,000 words. She could share videos. I don't know how many words a video says. It must be millions. You could share information on the venues, stuff like that. Then another highlight reel could be upcoming meetings. So maybe if Lindsay is organising several meetings in advance, you could say what month is it? I have no idea. I don't know what day it is. So the meeting would be this date, the June meeting would be this date, the July meeting would be this date. That could all be in one highlight reel. You could have reviews in another one. You could, the list is endless, but for business, it's like gold dust. Don't fill it up with rubbish that's been in your stories. That's silly.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. I must spend some time and go into that because I haven't actually done anything with it since our meeting.
Yeah.
So getting back to Facebook, when you say how different and how it's fluffy, and that, I mean, that is because we've put our post, fill in the blank.
Yeah.
And, or what are you doing today? And show me your office and stuff. Do you think they actually work to get engagement?
They do, definitely. At the end of the day, you have a group on Facebook. The reason that your posts get pushed is because you've had good engagement on other posts. So sadly, we need to be putting out posts like that, the fluffy posts, to encourage that engagement because people love them. Like, they share your fur babies. Who doesn't love to show photos of their new puppies?
I know, it's popular.
I don't know what it is, but people love to have their opinion. So, like, if you put up a post on Instagram story or in a group, how do you take your coffee in the morning? people love to tell you. I still can't figure it out, but they do. So if you have posts like that, it gets you a decent sort of engagement level. So when you actually get to the nitty-gritty posts, you actually get that post seen. Whereas if you didn't do those filler posts and you only did a couple of posts a week, then those posts would have to work an awful lot harder to actually be seen. So the fluff helps in a group, it really does.
Ah, yes, I'm with you there. When you say the nitty gritty, what you're saying is your business or something that's important, but you need those little bits of engagement posts. But people, I mean, I love the group. I really do love the group, and I love the people that are in there. But very quickly, because I do get asked a lot, what is the difference between your personal, your group, and your business page?
Yeah. So your personal page, let's use me as or we'll use you as an example. So you are the person behind your brand. So if you are going to be sharing parts of your life, you might allow your followers to follow your personal page. So some people, like I don't mind people following my personal page, but I don't really use it for personal reasons. The personal things that I do share are things that I don't mind my business people seeing. So I wouldn't be sharing photos of my kids in their swimming cozies, for example, or bath photos, but a lot of people do. So if you do that, you need to keep it private and you wouldn't be sharing it. Your business page is the nuts and bolts of your business. It's your PR stream, it's your marketing, it's your social stuff, it's everything to do with your business. And then your group is where you're going to try and encourage your interaction. You're going to try and create your community. So your group is not for selling. Your page is for selling. Your business page should be about 80% chat, 20% sales, which seems like an obscure ratio. Yeah, so you don't want, people don't like to be sold to, they just don't. So you want to entertain, educate and inspire. That's your 3 pillars of content. So that's what's going to make up your 80% and 20% is going to be your sales. In your group, that is a community enrichment space. It's not for selling at all. Every now and again, you can put in a bit of sales, but that's not what it's for. Facebook doesn't like you promoting sales in your groups. But if you have a group like now, obviously you're going to mention when your next meeting is, for example, or if you wrote a book or something like that. But in the main, it's a community space. It's not for selling. Does that make sense?
Absolutely, yes, because I mean, groups are like as if you were in a village or a town.
Yeah.
And you just sort of get together and you chat. And if you find an interesting conversation, then, because I'm going on to the algorithms now, which I want you to so very quickly explain about the algorithm.
Okay. So if you think of the algorithm as a funnel, when you first put a post out, whether that's Instagram or Facebook, they both work exactly the same way. We'll just say Facebook because it owns them, is going to show your post to that many people. Nobody knows the exact number. The guess is about 10% of your followers. So let's say you've got 100 followers, it's going to show it to 10 people. Depending on how those 10 people react, depend on if Facebook shows it to any more people. So if you have got loads of spammy accounts or your friends following you who don't interact, this is going to really affect you. So if out of those 10 people, 3 of them are spam and 4 of them are your friends who don't interact, you've only got a chance of 5 people. I can't actually remember what numbers I chose, but something like that. A very small amount of people to actually boost that engagement. So Facebook is going to determine if that post is any good by how many likes, comments, shares and saves that you get on that post. So let's use a bigger number. So say it's shown to 100 people. If 50 are crap, you've only got 50 to engage. The chances of those 50 all engaging are pretty slim. So let's say 20 people engage. Facebook will say 20 out of 100 have engaged. That's not amazing. We'll show them to a few more. So then it shows them to a few more to see how it gets on. If less people than that are engaging, Facebook's going to say, this post is not going to keep people on our platform. Let's push everything else. We'll not bother pushing this anymore. So the only way that post is going to be seen is people directly searching your page and browsing through, or if it's been shared to them, and it's not going to be pushed on the algorithm. So it's very important that when the post goes out, that your people are online. So we can tell that from your analytics, and that people are engaging. So if you have lots of your friends following you to get your numbers up, but they never engage, tell them to unfollow you because it's going to affect you detrimentally. We've just been video bombed.
That's all right. That's interesting when you're saying about if you've got followers and they're not engaging, it's far better to unfollow them.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Good, great. Of course, we could go on forever and ever, and I do need to ask you this question because I think it's great. Because I ask everyone a question at the end, which sometimes is related to what we're talking about. So for today is, how do you push yourself to be more creative every day?
Well, these guys help creatively trying to work around being a good parent and actually doing work. But the best business things are looking to the past to look forward. So I have worked for a lot of good businesses in the past. So I quite often look back to how they conducted their business. I stopped working when I was pregnant with Amelia, so that was 6 years ago. So things have obviously moved on from then, but you can still take snippets of things that worked in the past and modify them to make them more up to date. So things like my old boss, he was a very traditional estate agent. So you can go out just now. He was a very traditional estate agent, and when clients booked him for an estate that he would really like to work on, he would send them a little handwritten card, and people loved the personal touch. It didn't have any mention of the company on it. It was his name and his home address, and he would write them a little personal note, and people loved that because it was such a personal touch. So I tried to figure out how I could do something like that. So whenever I have, God, we've got two now. Sorry. So when people follow me on Instagram, I will send them a message. So I'll do a video message if I look half decent, and if I don't, I'll do a voice message and just say, "Hi, Lindsay. Thank you so much for following my feed. I've just been checking out the Now page. It looks fantastic. I love what you're doing. I'd love to hear what you would like to be learning from my page. So please feel free to drop me a DM anytime. I look forward to connecting with you in the future." So it's that little personal touch.
I love that.
It's not taking time to write a handwritten note, but so look at the past and see how you can make it work on it.
I love that. I never actually think about thanking anybody who's following me. I think about it, but I don't do anything about it. Oh, I love that. Great to end on. So we're going to say goodbye to everybody in Now and everyone on YouTube as well, because we are heading into YouTube land as from today. So Joe, you have introduced Now into YouTube Live. And not only just you, but these gorgeous, gorgeous little girls.
What are they like?
Beautiful. I love it.
Girls.
All right, so we're going to say goodbye to everyone, no matter where you are. Let's all wave. Whoa! Yay. Bye. Bye. Bye.